a special interest in the minds of children. Is there something we can learn as adults from when we were children?
Oh, we can learn a lot about when we were children. If we look back at our own lives, then we could also learn a lot from children themselves, but especially about shame and how we handle shame. I put a lot of emphasis on the emotion of shame and what we can learn from it and the information that it provides, even though it makes us feel as though we're inadequate in terms of our abilities or our skills or our size or our shape or whatever it is. Shame is still one of our greatest teachers if we learn how to learn from it. And if we watch children, we could see how they responded to shame, and the typical responses we as adults have to it, which are usually to withdraw or to avoid or attacking ourselves or attacking others. Those are typical shame responses when we don't navigate through it. A case in point is recently a mom brought in her young daughter because she was so angry with her and they weren't communicating, she said, and her daughter was being disrespectful, and she wanted to figure out what it was all about because her daughter wasn't talking to her about it, at least in terms of how this mom was approaching her. And when we finally delved into it and the little girl trusted me enough to say, she said, well, I get disrespectful when my mom makes a certain face, especially when she's with her boyfriend. And I said, well, what is that face and what's it make you feel? And she says, it makes me feel like my mom disappeared. And we talked about that a while, and the girl pointed to her mom and she said, there you are doing it right now. And the mom said, I was a bit distracted. That's right. And she said, maybe it's when I get distracted. And as it turns out, when the mother was having a lot of conflict with this boyfriend, she did disappear when the boyfriend was there. The girl recognized it. She got disrespectful. She acted up. She started attacking. She was avoiding. And the mother misinterpreted it. And it's all about listening to kids. And that was the point of that Radio Disney talk show I did. And I've no idea why Disney let me do it. It was a public service program. I loved it. I did it for 9 years. And kids just want to be heard. And it was a matter of listening to them. And they often expose their shame about bullies, friendships, crushes, differences, and especially about school.
And by shame, you mean when something does not go the way a person wants in their life?
When you feel that wince or jolt to yourself and you want to hide. Shame makes us want to hide. And so many kids, especially when they're learning how to read or do math, feel that shame. They can't do it. They have this jolt to their sense of themselves, so they avoid it, or they withdraw effort, or they act up. And we don't realize that they're feeling something that's really important, and they have to learn to get past those moments where they feel so bad about themselves.
Does procrastination begin in us as children?
Absolutely. You know, all of the highly successful people I studied told me stories about when they were in 3rd or 4th grade, and that's when it began for them. And you see the differences in kids. There are kids who come home from school and they got to get their homework done. Otherwise, they can't go out and play. They just have to get it off their plate. It just bothers them if they have something left undone. And then there are those kids who come home, they just want to play. They'll do it later. And they do get it done. Even if they get it done on the way to school or during recess, they do get it done. The high achievers I studied did 2 things. And it doesn't matter how you define success. No matter how you define success, there are 2 criteria. One is they never miss a deadline, ever, whether they procrastinate or they don't, and their work reflects their best efforts. That's it, across the board.